Hey everybody, Nemo060 here. Before I start this rant, which I haven't done in quite a while, I do want to mention a couple of things. First of all, if the quality in this video isn't great, I apologise. I just turned on Windows Movie Maker and just suddenly found that the quality, even though it's the same I've been recording on for a while now, seems to have dipped. No idea why that's happening. And also, I do plan on doing perhaps maybe a few more rants, but I don't have a lot of ideas at the moment. Plus, I can't seem to get a proper script for them. And so, this is just going to be rambling off the top of my head as I usually do. A relatively unscripted rant, aside from the notes that I've already attempted to write down. However, I do perhaps want to try out some more commentaries, perhaps dealing with more creationists and, religious issues, since while I know not everyone's into that, I do feel it's an important topic that should be discussed more, and I do want to get him more involved with the free thinking community to put out my particular ideals there. Because I consider myself to be quite a liberal person in many ways, and I'm not anti-religious. I can't stand creationism and I speak out frequently against it, but I do not mind religion per se, as many anti-theists would do. I am an anti-creationist, but I'm not an anti-theist, much like GPR Jones, the well-known YouTube user who dealt a lot with the old Venom Fang X. And I may also do more naturism related rants because, well, I'm a naturist and I don't talk about that very much, and again I want to talk more about these things that I feel strongly about and that I have a lot to say on, especially because my views will be very different to a lot of other people, and I would like people to perhaps just understand my position and maybe think about it a bit more. As CDK007 says, just think about it. Perhaps consider a different angle to what you may have already been taught or what you may already think. Just look at the world from a different point of view. That's all I really want to achieve, not to perhaps, make people do anything, but that's going to be part of this rant, but perhaps just inspire them to, think a bit differently. But anyway, what's this rant about? This rant is about conservatism and selfishness. Now, let's give a rough definition of both. Conservatism is where you want to try and keep something as the same way it is as much as possible. Now, conservatism isn't obviously entirely a bad thing. I mean, you want to conserve money as much as you want to. You want to conserve the environment. You want to conserve water to, make sure that you want to conserve your hygiene. You want to conserve many things so that, you don't, go out of control and you essentially keep a stable lifestyle. However, I do feel that conservatism is becoming quite a problem in terms of politics and how the world is being run at the moment, because with channels in the US like Fox News and many other people who are ranting, constantly campaigning against new ideas, well, relatively new ideas, which I say new, but these things should have been considered before. But in the past, if you go back a few decades and maybe even a few centuries, things would have been so different. And these conservatives would prefer the world to be like it was in the past. Like anti-homosexual marriage, keeping science out of the classrooms, and keeping religion as the main focus of things, and that's just not going to work. We need to rid ourselves of this false dichotomy between that you either have to choose science or religion. It's been proven many times over that you can have both, and you need both, because science examines the world around us and learns from it, and this in turn betters the human race time and time again. Bad science and religion on its own, literalism of religion, causes nothing but problems. And really, all this is just a big distraction from, the real issues of the world. I think, rather than soccer mums bitching about a nipple being on TV live TV for about 2.5 seconds, if that, or people bitching about, saying that, oh, science is wrong, our God is real, you must worship our God, or be damned forever, be punished for eternity because you did one thing wrong in life, and yet I still love you. Oh yes, our God still loves you, even though he's going to torture you if you do absolutely anything wrong. Well, the real issue, they are keeping these big issues such as civil rights, having equality for every human being on the planet, and also global warming. Unfortunately, as much as some people like to deny it, global warming is a fact, unfortunately. There's much scientific research to prove that global warming is a problem, that we are causing it, and the fossil fuels will soon run out, and that we do have to find new ways of doing things. However, there's still people who seem to think that atheistic billboards just saying that there's an alternative religion, you don't have to follow any religion, there may not be a God, so you don't have to worry about what religion people follow, and all these war and Muslim extremists blowing people the fuck up for their religion. What is the point? All this is just going backwards. It's just going against what is making the human race better. And something that's much closer to home, you could say, to many people here on YouTube, selfishness. This generation, our generation, even a lot of the parents, especially the Christians of this generation, seem to be just incredibly selfish and think that if their view of the world is not held by everyone, that it's completely wrong, and that everyone is in the wrong and doing the world harm because of that. And they literally, like the Twilight fantards, they are now making a religion out of this crappy book series about sparkling vampires in the sun and stalking their apparent lovers who have no personality whatsoever, and then going and breaking people's arms and inflicting big injuries on them because they do not like the same book they do, and causing so much fighting. This is all pointless. And also Peter, the idiots saying that milk will give you autism, and claiming Obama is such a horrible person for swatting a fly. I don't like to kill insects personally. I believe that they should have as much right to live as a cat or a dog or a gorilla. And yet there are gorillas and there are animals all over the world being abused, killed, and habitats being destroyed, and all this beautiful life on our earth being just completely eradicated. And you know what? I think it's time that we really need to hit hard with this. We really need to start, discussing more and presenting more of the liberal side. We need to move forward. We need to start being more free-thinking about these things, instead of trying to contradict them and say, no, that's not real, that's not an issue. What's changing is the issue. People being equal is the issue. People believing whatever, any religion but me is the issue. Just selfishness and conservatism is keeping us from saving our own world, unfortunately. As a neo-pagan, I consider this earth to be beautiful. I consider it to be the equivalent of a god. I consider that it should be worshipped as a deity itself, rather than some invisible man in the sky. No offence to any, moderate Christians out there. Think of it like this. If you're in a series of cars that you have bought a car in a series of cars that repeatedly has faulty wheels and many people are crashing and burning and potentially more could happen, and more people could potentially die because these wheels are faulty. And yet people are arguing and saying that, you should drive these cars because these cars have red lights inside, whereas other cars might have green lights. These trivial issues which should matter so little are, completely distracting from the bigger picture. And this is why I send a lot of videos regarding anti-creationism. Like it or not, unfortunately this issue is real, and I feel that it has to be dealt with, considering the state of our planet and that they are trying to make us go backwards and backtrack in life and knowledge. Thank you for listening to this rant. Feel free to make video responses, commentaries, or text responses, agreeing or disagreeing. Please vote to counteract the action of vote bots, and just favourite this video if you wish. Thank you for listening. This is Dynamite060, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.